Welcome, all of you like-minded individuals, to the Sovereign Rain Nightcap. This is where we'll commune as a community. Community meaning exactly what the word states, a common unity and raising our energy, frequency, and vibration. Commune meaning that we'll share together different techniques and responsibilities that's required to deal with adversities and solutions to different situations. Also, with Sunday being the beginning of the week, we will meet here every Sunday to plot, plan, and strategize for the week. Come on, my soul survivors. Let's go and let's grow. Welcome back, my soul survivors, to the Sovereign Rain Nightcap. A beautiful discussion had came up during the week, and I want us to dialogue about it. And I'll make sure that I'm overly specific so that way we understand the difference between a charismatic person and leader and a character person and leader. A charismatic person, they focus on being charming. In a group, they want to be glamorous, always trying to mesmerize the people. A character person or leader, they focus on the mental and moral ability of themselves and building up others around them with integrity and honor. The origin of the word is Greek, and it means a stamping tool or to chip away. So what does that mean? That means that a charismatic person or leader, they focus on themselves. They make themselves the center of attention. So when they die, their movement dies with them. But a character person, they make deposits and investment in other people. So when they die, they have a blueprint, and their movement, it can live on forever. Write this down. We're going to focus on making an impact and not an income, because we judge success on how many people we bless. In the holy basic instructions before leaving earth, the master teacher gives us the parable of talents. He said that the kingdom of heaven can be illustrated by this story. There was this master who was going on a long trip, and before he left, he wanted to entrust these talents or these gifts to each one of his servants according to each man's ability, so they didn't get overwhelmed. So he got himself packed up, he's ready to go, and he calls over his servants. So he lets them know, like, listen, y'all, I'm going on this long trip, right? But before I go, I want to entrust you all with these gifts or these talents. So for the first servant, he gives him 5 talents. To the second servant, he gives him 2. And to the third servant, he gives him 1. So the master goes off, he goes on this trip, he does his thing. You know, he stays gone for a long time, but now he's back. And he shows up and he calls for his servants because he wants them to give an account of, you know, what you've been doing with these gifts and these talents that I've been giving you since you've been gone. So he's like, yo, what's up, man? You know, what y'all been doing? How's it been going? And I am paraphrasing the story, so forgive me, but I am paraphrasing. But he's asking them, like, you know, what's been up, what's been going on? So the first servant, like, listen, master, I struggled with those 5 gifts you gave me at first, but I was able to get myself together. You know, I buckled down, I figured it out, I struggled, but I was able to turn the 5 gifts or the 5 talents that you gave me into 10. So the master looked at him with joy and praise in his eyes. He was like, well done, my faithful and loyal servant. You know, you were faithful over the few, so now I can make you ruler over the many. Come with me, let's celebrate. So he asked the second servant, like, what were you able to do with the talents that I've given you? So the second servant was like, listen, master, I was just like the first servant. Like, I struggled at first, but I was able to turn the 2 and the 3 and the 3 and the 4. So the master looked at him with praise and joy in his eye. He was like, well done, my faithful and loyal servant. You were faithful over the few, so now I can make you ruler over the many. Come with me, let's celebrate. So he looked to the third servant and was like, you know, what did you do with the gift of the talent that I gave you? So the third servant is like, listen, master, I didn't trust myself enough. I didn't want to lose the gift of the talent that you gave me. So what I did was I went deep into the woods and I buried it. I covered it up, I camouflaged it because I knew you would come back and I didn't want to lose it. And so what I did was I dug it up and I have it here with me right now to give it back to you. So the master looked at him with such disgust and anger in his eyes. He was like, you lazy, wicked, and foolish man. Why didn't you make use of the talent or the resource I gave you? What the master did at that point, he said, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this talent or this gift from you and I'm going to give it to the man who has 10. And so now he tells him, You depart from me, you wicked and lazy, foolish man, for I had never known you. Now, the moral of the story, I want you to write this principle down. Those who make use of what they have, even more will be given to them and they will live in abundance. But for those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. See, the Creator gives us talents, gifts, time, and other resources according to our abilities and expects us to invest them wisely so they can multiply. We are responsible for what has been given to us. The issue is not about how much we have, but how well we make use of what it is that we have. We must start where we at with what we have, because what we have is plenty. So as we part ways, my soul survivors, let us not waste any time, any resources, any talents that has been invested in us by the Creator, because what we don't use, we'll lose. So let us say it from the bottom of our stomach. Let us say it from the pit of our soul, soul survivors. Just let me be great. Let us confess it and let us yell it out to the universe. Just let me be great. And I love you, family. And there's nothing you can do about that. Let's go and let's grow.